shell. Alright, perfect. We can go live. Sweet. YouTube's working this week. Alright, Molly, I'm going to turn you down just a tad. Just because I want to make sure we can hear everyone. And I'll just rely on the chat to tell me if audios are a little odd. But you know what? Last week, I was so pleased. I don't know if any of you saw the uploaded video, but everyone's audio volumes were so spot on with the music and everything.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was really nice. Except Blues couldn't even hear her whole session.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing.
Well, glad you're back, Blue. All right. We are streaming. We're live, everybody.
Yay!
Yay!
So, quick recap. It should be whack, yo.
What? Yeah?
Please
That's
never
it.
say that again.
I'm done. I recapped it. What else do you want from me? You guys are defending the keep. You slaughtered the army. Well, not really. Let's be fair here. Most of the goblins are actually still alive. They just don't have any means of climbing up your walls anymore.
We are liberating the goblins from their bugbear captors.
I like to think that they're not like running away in terror. They're just kind of getting disinterested and wandering off.
Yeah, they're just kind of sitting around on the battlefield, like looking around, checking out the dead spiders, like, what do now?
Yeah, like one of them's like kicking a helmet. Huh.
Somebody's stuck in a pit, just like, guys,
Because,
I mean, someone find a rope.
This might not even be too far from the truth, because it's not like the paladins are going to just start pelting with arrows for no reason. The paladins don't like killing when they don't have to. So really, they're just kind of sitting there going, huh. Well, huh.
It's amazing. I love it.
However, the threat is not completely over, as Freya and Van Kastriken were fighting for their lives against super secret Delta goblins, who were just normal goblins that rolled really well a lot. Freya managing to save the moment by casting Sleep and taking down the last goblin and hobgoblin. However, Van Kastriken is bleeding out. Aras, excuse me, I'll get to Aras last because we're actually going to start with her. The Aras, Kirani, Amelia, and Rhea are currently fighting for their lives against the champions of Gorum in the same kind of weird spell that was cast on Claire and Death when they dueled. Rhea is fighting Death, Amelia is fighting Thimdul, Kirani is fighting Milok, and Aras was fighting... it's weird, hard to say his name. Oh, he's gone. I don't even know his name. He's dead now. It's like Barasimus, I believe was his name.
Yeah, something like that.
But it was a fairly short fight, as Aras was calming herself to take the shot, and she noticed a blue butterfly land on the barrel of her gun, and a sense of stillness and calm wash over her. And it was almost as if the world started moving in slow motion, like she turned on, focus from some sort of video game. Oh, VATS! She turned on VATS from Fallout. And things started moving slow motion, and she pulled off the perfect shot, critting the bugbear and taking off his head. Aras, after that, you started running without even really thinking towards the downed body of Van Kastriken. What are you doing?
As I'm quickly walking, I wouldn't even say that she's running, because she has the total sense of calmness that you've never seen before. And as she's walking towards him, she sees them go down, and that he's been down, and she sees that, like, he's kind of at the edge of life and death, and yells out, "You can't leave! Your work here isn't finished!" And then, doing so, casts Healing Word, which, as her domain of the grave, when somebody's down to 0, all dice are treated as magic.
Correct. Not really understanding even what you're doing, only knowing that instinctually you reach your hand out towards Van Kastriken willing your words into action, into deed. For the first time, someone who cared so much about understanding the arcane and who at one point in their life didn't even believe in magic, so to say, reaches forth and pulls forth divine power from Desna and heals Van Kastriken's wounds. With that, we're going to start back at the top of the order. Tyranny!
Yeah.
There be Bugbear. Just singular.
There be Bugbear.
There be Bugbear.
I'm gonna go ahead and try and attack the Bugbear. I'm gonna see if I can... No, I'm just gonna smack him.
Sure. With an edged sword. Okay, well...
Starting out fine.
That's a good start. We're good. We got this. That's better, and I believe that is, who is this guy? That is Milok. That's a hit. Wow, you just need to roll above a 5 or above, and you'll hit him with that bless.
Right.
Okay, 10 points of damage to Milok. I'll go ahead and add that damage. He's not looking so hot, actually. You're whittling him down. He's fast, and you've noticed this. He's not heavily armored. He wears his armor lightly, but moves very quickly. However, Tyranny is not a stranger to this, and has been often able to anticipate his movements enough to cut him. Sometimes your first blow will miss, but in missing that first blow, you line up that second shot and hit him right in the tinder bits. Wait, no, that's an actual part. I just meant like the tender parts of... Yeah, no, just in his soft spots. Alright. Next up is Aras. Your turn. Well, no, we just did you, so I'll skip you for now. Van Kastriken gasps in breath. And he sits up and sees that the goblins and hobgoblin is lying at his feet, not sure. Nope. Doesn't know if they're dead or sleeping. Whatever, he just assumes they're dead. Hey, he probably did it, just doesn't remember. Go, Van Kastriken. And he goes, what happened?
I think Freya would probably turn around and look over at him with a probably still serious look, because she knows they're not dead.
Right.
She'll she'll say, I put them to sleep for now. I still need to take care of them though. Just ready yourself for something.
He'll stand up, go to the goblin, put his spear point tip to the chest, and just press down without even a second thought. That's his turn. Hobgoblin Captain continues to sleep, dreaming of not dying. Amelia, your turn.
Let's rinse and repeat. Okay. So, once again...
Are you sure?
Yep. I'm so sure. I'm super duper sure, in fact. Yep, she's going to spend another 3 sorcery points to make him have disadvantage on a level 4 fireball straight to the face.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So I'll just go ahead and roll this. And that's a 5.
Boy, it sure is.
That's a 5. That is real quick, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Me?
Yes, because when you use this, if you fail your Constitution saving throw, you gain 1 level of exhaustion. You're summoning forth your inner strength to make this spell harder to resist. It's a very powerful materia, but it also... Yeah.
She's using a sorcerer feature. It's not.
Oh,
she's not using
Yeah, this
materia
is sorcery
ability.
points.
Then just forget everything I said.
Oh,
Just never you mind.
Okay.
I think he's thinking about out of session. I talked to him about a specific material that does the same thing.
Yes,
but-
yes, there is
Yeah.
actually, it's very specific material that does the same thing, which is not what you're doing. Just ignore
No.
me and just carry on. Because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay. So he can take this plus that.
27,
32.
32 points of damage. Oh.
Mhm.
Oh, well, that's nice. He had 19 points of damage left.
Okay.
So, you fire an even larger one this time, and it engulfs the entire wall. Kieran, you feel the blast of heat from behind you as the fireball mushroom clouds up, and when the smoke dissipates, blown off by the wind, there is nothing left. Doesn't even get like a final, response.
Nope, she doesn't give him time for pleading for anything. She doesn't even give him a snappy comeback. She's just straight to the face.
Yep.
Die.
Yep.
And she starts making her way over to which would be the fastest way over? Like,
To Van Kastriken?
yeah, to the people who aren't enveloped in this bullshit. I don't know. She'll start heading over there, I guess. I don't know. She'll just start going this way, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure. And turn.
So, there we go, everyone. Portly is on deck. Sweet. Okay. Gotcha. Goblin base 1 is dead. Goodbye, buddy. Freya, your turn.
I don't honestly know if Freya could, like, coup de grace someone. I don't think she would have the heart to do that.
Right.
I think Vincastican would notice her kind of hesitantly, like, holding a hand out like she's gonna cast a spell, but I don't think she'll actually do anything. She would probably spend her whole turn thinking about it.
Okay. Alright. Death's turn. Rhea, Death looks at you with pain in his eyes, mixed with anger, and he raises his maw, and again, it's not clicking on you. I don't know why.
He's also currently stunned.
Is he? Oh, right, because of the nut thing. Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, he, like I said, he looks at you in pain. That's his turn. All right. Kieran. Milok, injured though he may be, is not out of this fight left. What? Not out of this fight yet. Wow. He drops one of his scimitars, his arm having been cut by your sword and lacking its hitting power, pulls out from his belt a small hand crossbow, and he goes to make an attack first with the short sword. 19 versus you.
That hits.
Okay. I don't know why none of these tokens are focusing on people, but that's fine. We'll just go with it for now. Kiraday, you take 10 points of damage, and then spinning around, he pulls up the hand crossbow and fires it at point blank range. Right into your shield, apparently. You're ready for such tactics. You see the crossbow come out, you see it come up, and you just meet it with steel. And the little arrow goes blink. Shala. Shala stands... Oh, God, where is Shala? Where'd she go?
She was never on the board.
Oh, well, she's there now. I thought she was right there. Anyway, Shala looks on in desperation, her spells unable to affect you. And she starts screaming, and Rhea, you can hear muted. Rhea! Be careful! I mean, but that's pretty much all she can do. Rhea, your turn.
Okay. So, as a bonus action, I'm gonna activate my Heaviness Materia. And then I'm gonna take my 2 shots. Oh, let me click on him. That'd be smart. Make sure I grab the right rapier thing. Alright.
By the way, also, just note, I have extended all of these songs to play for an hour, so if one of them gets too repetitive or tiring, let me know and we can switch to another. But it's much better than every 10 minutes going, oh, I gotta restart the song, hang on. That is, ooh, against death? Hang on, let me check here. No, that is a miss.
Alright. And second attack.
Is also a miss.
Wait
a second, he's stunned. Roll with advantage. So that first attack is a miss.
I was about to say.
Yeah, your second attack, roll it with advantage. That's a hit, but roll it just in case you get a critical.
Okay.
Nope,
No.
alright. But that's a hit. So go ahead and do damage on that second attack.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the regular damage, and then I'm also going to add a smite onto it.
Correct.
Okay,
Wait,
so...
correct? Like, yes, this is what I told you to do. Got you. 13 points of damage, and then you're adding the smite?
then- Yeah, I'll do it at second level. So that's the first 2d8, and then third d8.
3, so 29 points of damage. Yikes. Yikes. So between that and the critical hit, which understandably didn't do tons of damage per se, but did quite a lot of other stuff. He's looking pretty injured. Is that your turn?
Yep.
All right. What's Kitty doing?
Kitty is still running around to where the other guy was.
Gotcha. So move Kitty ahead. Right, Kitty probably doesn't even know it's dead yet.
No.
I'm sorry. That's so disrespectful. He didn't know he's dead yet.
Yep. And so that's it.
All right, Portly.
Oh.
And this is at advantage, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Ooh.
That's a miss, unfortunately. Is that it for Portly's turn?
Yep.
Okay. Look, if Portly does nothing else this fight, Portly would have already have done enough. Kieranny, back up to you. He
All
just
right.
tried to hit you with a hand crossbow.
I'm gonna try and cut the hand crossbow out of his hands by cutting his hands off.
It's very aggressive tactics.
Well, that's the only way I can find to win at the moment.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's the only way he'll learn. That's
I
definitely a
mean-
hit.
He does have one hand. He might be less violent.
7 points of damage. Ooh, all right. He is definitely injured.
One more swing. Oh,
No, not that one, unfortunately. And this seems to be kind of a thing going back and forth. One of your attacks hit, one of yours miss, his as well. It's almost like you two are doing a really good job of reading each other and countering each other's moves. Though, I think you're doing better in the hit point section than he is.
yeah.
And Ross, your turn.
She is just sort of stunned and doesn't actually do anything. Because like that whole she's just completely in shock and like disbelief, and her brain kind of shuts down, so she doesn't actually do anything this round.
Gotcha. So Aras is stunned by what she just did.
Sorry, dazed is correct. I'm not
yes,
stunned.
correct. Dazed.
And
Alright.
she's like staring at her finger like, what the heck?
And as you're staring at your finger, the blue butterfly that has been hovering around you lands upon it. Freya, from behind you, a hand touches your shoulder and you hear, "Do you want me to finish him?"
Yes.
Without a word, Van Kastriken will step up, spirit pit dip down on the hobgoblin's throat, and just... and the hobgoblin's dead. And with that, he looks up and surveys the battle around him. Amelia, your turn.
She keeps moving. Can she actually see the... God, what is it called? The fight going on, because you said that it's the weird...
It's only about 100 feet away. 100,
No,
150.
I'm talking about with Rhea.
So
and,
you can actually see it incredibly well. They are glowing to you. Now that you've killed your target, your duelist, the world has started to snap back into color, and you can see everything vividly again. And Rhea and Death actually, and Portly actually glow.
Does it look like I would be able to interact with them? Because before, didn't you say that they were like more muted?
Well, correct. They look a little intangible.
Okay, so they still have the weird intangible.
It looks just like it did with
Okay.
Claire and Death.
How is Death looking right now?
Yeah, so. He's having a bad
So-so.
Monday.
He's having a bad Monday. Yeah, that's fair. How do I fucking... I just figured out how to do this, and now I can't remember how to do anything. That's fine. Whatever.
Fireball.
I mean, technically I could, but no. She's just going to keep walking, and she's going to go over to Shala. Is she still yelling?
Yep, you can hear her loud and clear. She's like screaming desperately at Rhea to be careful. She looks helpless. You know what I mean? Frustration and rage and everything playing across her face.
Amelia goes up to her and goes, "Shala, please. She'll be fine."
Shala looks at you, tears in her eyes, looks back to Rhea, grabs your hand and goes, Right.
Jesus. As she grabs her hand, Amelia just kind of like tenses up a little bit and then just visibly takes a moment to just try and relax and gives her hand a slight squeeze and goes, "You should really have more faith in her. Besides, these bugbears don't seem to have much way in competition."
She looks at you with wide eyes and slowly nods.
And I guess she's gonna hang out with Shala for a minute.
All right. Freya.
Freya's probably... Because I know, like, on the map there's not more people, but the other guards are still kind of fighting some people, correct?
They're finishing it off. There are several wounded Crimson Guard, but all 6 have survived the combat. And whatever goblins are left are either dying or retreating back down the wall, i.e. falling.
Oh. In that case, I think she would just take her next few turns helping the wounded Crimson Guard, like, get to the infirmary. Get them just out of the fight.
Gotcha.
I mean, not that there's really a fight left. But,
so we'll say you and Vancastro can start pulling people towards the back. I mean, to the infirmary at this point is a bit far, but at least maybe pulling them back towards the other side of the wall.
Yeah, not being attacked or attacking people.
Right.
That sort of stuff.
Gotcha. All right. Death. You know, that guy. He could do things now. He focuses on Rhea. And, give me a second here. Oh. Wait, not quite there yet. Actually, yeah, he is. Shouts with rage. And activates a nice little feature called Still Standing. When he has fewer than a certain amount of hit points, he starts having advantage on all attack rolls, as he almost flies into a rage and shouts, "Gorum!" and begins swiping at you with his massive spiked maul. Why is there a K next to attack? That's not how that works. 19?
That's a miss.
And... oh, whoops, that's supposed to be an advantage. Still doesn't, just... nice try, Death. Nice try. Boy, did you choose the wrong people to attack. Kyrani.
Yes.
The duel continues between you two, giving each other blow after blow. Milok attacks you with his silver short. So I cannot talk today.
You can do it.
I'll use my words. 21 is a hit, I believe.
Yes, it is.
All right, that is 8 more points of damage to Kyrani.
Okay.
And he spins around to the left. As he does so, with one hand, amazingly reloads the hand crossbow. He flips out a crossbow in his hand, holds the hand crossbow by the bolt, and pulls it back against his chest and fires one off against you. It's quite impressive. 21?
Whew, yeah.
Okay. Another 9 points of damage.
All right.
Shala, having heard Amelia's words, takes a moment to steady herself, calm herself, and then just watches the fight. Lips tight, she watches as Rhea and Death battle on. Rhea. Oh, hang on a second. Yes, Amelia.
So, hang on real quick. I wanted to double check because if I remember correctly,
No, holding her hand does not make her your girlfriend now.
No, Jesus Christ. Right, does he have close quarters shooter or something
yes,
like that?
Yes, he does.
Oh, so never mind.
He has crossbow expert.
It's a moot point then. Ignore me.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, but it's a fair question. No one would be able to pull a move off like that without something like crossbow expert. The way he handles that crossbow is the way a Ross handles her gun. It's pretty impressive. All right, Rhea.
All right, let's try that again. Oh.
Nuh-uh.
Come on, man.
Yay! Big Rhea slams the sword down. Doing
If that
9 points of damage.
doesn't take him down, I'm just gonna smite him again.
It does not.
I'll do another second level. Why not?
Okay. Oh, not dead yet. But he's looking
Bastard.
really bad. All right. Kitty. Continuing to run.
Yeah, just continuing to run.
Sorry, viewers. I'm doing a horrible job moving this map around. I mean, my map was moving just fine, but yours is. All right. Kitty's moving around. Portly. One good hit. One good hit can do it.
Nope.
Portly!
Ah!
That's a hit.
4 points.
He had 3 points left. Oh my god. How does Portly do this?
Oh my god. Okay. I don't even know.
The bestest
So-
boy.
Honestly. So, Portly just, just getting this over with, just absolutely pounces onto Death, knocking him over, and just starts tearing at him.
Gotcha. So, Amelia and Shala see as Rhea and Portly work together in tandem, almost in sync. As Death raises his spiked maul, Rhea's sword slams down on the shoulder, and with righteous divine smite, shears through the shoulder. And the spiked maul falls to the ground. And Death stares up at Rhea in disbelief for just a second, until Portly's jaws close around his throat and brings him to the ground and starts just tearing with vicious growling. And in less than 5 seconds, Death stops moving. And he is dead. Oh boy, Kieran!
Yeah. He keeps this up, I'm gonna get out the shovel.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm going to swing at him. I need to take that crossbow hand. That's my new intention.
That is, I think with him that's a hit. That is a hit.
Is it? For
Mhm.
sure?
It is, definitely. I just checked.
Now I have him selected, but we'll see what happens.
6 points of damage. And let's see, now I'll have to add that manually. But he is not looking hot. He's looking really bad.
Excellent. One more, and while I do it, I'm gonna put myself on the other side of him again and be like, no, you stand there.
Unfortunately, that one is a miss.
Okay.
Now, since there are only 2 combatants left, is everyone okay if we just resolve this before we carry on?
Yes.
We can get out of turn
Yeah.
order. All right.
Yeah.
So, Milok, dodging that last blow, blood seeping through his wounds, he grins at you and goes, "It's been an honor, dwarf." And quickly reloads the hand crossbow and then strikes at you with the short sword, missing, and fires the crossbow at you, hitting
Hit.
for another 6 points of damage. Your turn again, Kieran.
She contradicts that with, yes, it feels like I've been sparring with one of me kids.
Oh god. That's a hit! Final last word. Yeah, that sucks for him.
And I'm just gonna whack him and knock him out. 'Cause I don't know.
So, not dead.
Yeah, he's just sad and childish.
He crumples in a heap. And, as he falls to the ground, the world begins to awaken in front of you.
Oh no, you don't! And I'm going straight for the beer kegs.
The what? The beer kegs?
Or the beer. Basically, I brought a whole bunch of ale cups up and lined them on the wall. I
Oh,
only drank some of them.
right.
I ain't letting this effect leave. I'm gonna go over and start chugging them one at a time.
Dude, you get roll me a d6. Oh my god. Kieran, like shot glasses, as the world starts to bring into color, she just done. Chugs all 6 tankards.
There we go. Now it's got the right sway to it again.
Just my gosh, it's like you've seen this in GIFs, I'm sure, of people that can just swig an entire cup and just knock it down and get another. It's almost more impressive than the fight that just took place. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of combat.
Oh boy.
So, what would you guys like to do? You
love
look
the
around
idea.
you see the goblins down below you start to drift away. Their champions defeated, their spiders killed. They meander back off to the caves, and there's a great cheer as the paladins around you, some injured, but most of them completely unharmed, as most of the fighting took place between you and the champions. As the Order of the Lilac expertly defended the siege. Well, let's be fair. It was mostly the players.
Yeah, expertly. Quotation marks.
Giant air
Billy
quotes.
was vital. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
He needs to get put back in training, or at least kept off the fucking. Don't give
He
him
needs
the big
a promotion.
machinery.
Please.
That
You guys
man
don't know
did
what you're
like 20
talking about.
damage once. He was useful.
Billy
Yeah.
is now chapter master.
Right?
Oh my god.
He's going to be training all the newbies on how to fire
Honestly,
trebuchets.
I hope not.
You know what? Rhea specifically should go give him a Medal of Honor. There you go. I'll appreciate his work. Yeah, yeah.
Rhea,
Mm.
as your world starts to brighten around you and color returns, you find yourself engulfed in a hug from Shala.
Can she be engulfed?
Yes?
She is large.
Yeah. Well, your leg. Your leg is engulfed by Shala, and she is just beaming up at you.
I imagine it's very awkward, but not for her. She just sort of reaches down and hugs her back.
Maybe takes a knee.
Yeah.
And she'll whisper in your ear, "You were amazing."
I would prefer not to do that again.
She nods. And then she turns and hugs Amelia. "You too. Absolutely amazing."
Amelia kind of like stumbles a little bit and like pats her back like thank you. Should probably go check on your sister. She says to Rhea, not Shala.
We should go check on Shala's sister.
I mean, probably eventually, but
Yeah, it's like you don't need to rush to that one. It's
it's fine.
hang on a second, guys.
Okay.
Goddamn.
I'm not gonna say anything anyway. Roll credits.
Oh, we're not trying to cut you off.
I'm aware. Just being an ass.
Oh boy.
I kind of very badly want to have permanency cast on Rhea when she's large. But that would also not be a good idea.
That'd be a terrible idea. How would you fit in the orphanage?
How tall would she be when she's enlarged?
Jesus. I don't know. That's a good question.
Large, reduce 5e. Enlarge. The target size doubles in all dimensions. So
Oh, doubles? So she's
Wow.
now
she's 10 foot something.
10 foot. Oh, wait. So she's 5'6", so she'd be 11
Oh, she'd
feet.
be 11 feet even.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
So just 11 feet.
Yeah, you
Oh,
know.
God.
It's not too
that
bad.
big.
So, like a basketball player.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Sorry about that. Where were we?
I don't know anymore.
You were discussing Shala and Rhea and Amelia.
Yes.
Right, yeah,
So
Sean's
you
sister.
all start to make your way back to. Hang on. Hang on.
Come on, Squee.
And pause.
Cue the Jeopardy theme.
Yep.
Just gotta put on some elevator music.
Honestly.
Do 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 do.
Do, 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 do.
Do,
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 do, do, do, do.
See, the problem with singing together is that you never know if you're actually syncing up.
Doesn't
So it
matter.
just becomes disjointed and terrible.
Doesn't matter.
It does.
We sing the Jeopardy theme in the Devil's Tritone. Tritone.
You're gonna try that again?
No, I don't.
Triphone.
It
Shut
it's
up.
it says make a joyful noise. It never said that noise had to be in tune.
Precisely.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not that I'm religious. I feel like Clove.
Just gotta throw that out there.
I mean, neither was a Ross, but like, look at now, man. You gotta
I
be
know.
careful about this shit.
Yep. That'll be fun. I feel like we need to do like a truth or dare in character session.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Oh
man.
boy.
Downtime filler episode. Truth or dare, bitch.
I feel like this should happen. There are way too many unanswered questions.
Let's do it. God, can you imagine Never Have I Ever with this group? Rhea just never puts down.
Right.
Would she win or lose at that point? I've never been quite clear on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
It depends on what the consequences are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain level where you get drunk, so you're winning. And then there's a level where you go past that, and then you're definitely losing.
Yeah. It's a delicate balance.
Yep.
This is
I know.
great filler chat for our talks right here.
God, I don't think Amelia's ever been drunk.
Rhea
Mm.
hasn't, that's for sure.
She went to the bar, the Eel's End, with the hookers, and so she had a few drinks.
Oh,
Or, like, a
basketball
few
you
sips.
I don't
Amelia's out with the
remember-
hookers.
Yeah.
Oh, you know Amelia, just so crazy. Wild party.
Yeah, we won't forget her night job, you know, we understand.
What?
You guys gotta afford that orphanage somehow.
Oh my god.
I am terribly sorry. Minor emergency. I am back.
We did a great job with filler conversation.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep. So,
So-
we've set up filler episodes for the future. There's going to be a Truth or Dare, and there's going to be a beach episode, and
Yes.
Yep.
Never have I ever.
Is there going to be
Never
a
have I ever.
clips
Yep.
episode?
We need a Christmas episode.
Yes.
This followed by or previous by a Thanksgiving episode.
in June, right? Christmas
Right.
in June.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, totally. Didn't I tell you
No.
Corvosa is in the Southern Hemisphere? All right. So, Amelia and Rhea and Shala make their way down to the infirmary. Freya and Van Kastrikin, you help. No one's so injured that they can't at least walk with support down to the infirmary. Kieran, you see the rest of the paladins start to take stock of any injured or anyone hurt, and you find that on your side, probably largely due to you taking out the spider, no one has been injured except for yourself.
Okay.
I don't believe the bag of holding gets to interject, actually.
It was the wrong sheet. I'm sorry.
I'm just putting this. I'm going to lay this rule down now, just for future reference. Bag of holding does not get a say in pretty much anything.
Except for, if it holds stuff.
Yeah.
The contents.
No, it's still. It doesn't even. It's still. You tell it what to hold, and it will like it. Yes, Sib. What's up?
So Ross is finally gonna kind of like shake out of it and go up to Van Kastrikin. And be
All
like,
right,
"Are you okay?"
Yeah, he's currently got his arm supported around a Crimson Guard who looks less hurt than he is, and he nods and he goes, "Yes, I'll be fine, thank you. Have have you seen him? Never mind." And
Amelia, yeah, she was just at the front. Are you sure you're okay? Like, what did that feel like? She's asking kind of like about the healing word. Still.
feel.
Never mind. It's fine.
Right.
Dude, I'm sure they could help patch you up. Do you need me to help?
No, we'll be okay. The guard he's supporting has just been patiently standing here this whole time, just kind of awkward. He goes, "No, we'll be fine. Thank you."
Okay.
And he'll go down the stairs. As he doesn't know you're the one. He doesn't even know that he was cured. He just was unconscious.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they make their way down the spiral staircase towards the infirmary. Rhea, you're gonna have to shrink down if you want to go see your sister. I'm sorry.
I don't know how.
It's a potion. You can in the effect at will. I think it's a bonus action.
Oh, but that's 3 hours worth of... Okay.
You can stay
The
outside.
fight's over, man.
No, it's fine.
She wants to
I finally
enjoy
have
being
tall
taller than her
girlfriends.
girlfriend for 3 hours.
I mean, technically, you could probably get down on your knees and crawl.
That's...
No,
not
she's
gonna
not
go
fitting
there.
through that doorway.
No.
Not in heavy armor.
We have to get into the tower. So...
Yep.
She'll shrink back down, I guess.
All right. Freya.
I did want to say, to be fair, Van Kastrikin might not have noticed. That doesn't mean Freya wouldn't, because she was very much
Oh,
conscious when
she
that
very
happened.
much noticed. Yes.
I don't
She-
think Freya would openly address this while trying to take people with her, but I would say Ross would notice if she got like an 8 on this session, like with a passive insight check. Like Freya probably glances over looking at Ross with this look, like very, very confused how you did that. But she keeps taking people with Castrican.
Yeah, and Ross, it would be fairly easy for you to see that, especially since you know that you called out and did this in the open with Freya standing right there.
Yeah. So she's just like really freaked out, like doesn't know what the heck to do, and just kind of stands up there lingering and until she realizes about Claire. So I'd say like a good 5-10 minutes pass before she realizes, and then she's gonna run down to the infirmary.
Gotcha. Well, no, she's not in the infirmary. She's in the tower right now.
Oh, in the tower.
Mm-hmm. So you all make your way to the tower, and you make your way up the stairs to the room where the few people that stayed behind are still, including Rhea, your little brother and sister, and your older sister, and a few of the servants that stayed behind, like the old Gran. They all seem safe and sound. I mean, to be fair, the goblins didn't get very far.
Yeah.
And as you enter the room, you see Claire standing up shakily. And when you come in, she looks up and she smiles and she goes, "You know, I'm feeling better, and no one's casted a spell on me yet."
Rhea just immediately runs up, barreling towards her, and engulfs her in a hug.
She will awkwardly hug you back in your armor, and she'll go, "So, found a way to lift it, huh?"
Oh. Yes.
She'll ruffle your hair. "I knew giving you the shield was the right thing. Well done, sister."
Oh, here. And she'll, hand her the shield back.
She'll take it back. And you'll notice, too, it's strange. Claire doesn't ever say sister. She just calls you by your name, usually. It's unusual. But she'll smile, and she'll push it back towards you. "No, I think you better hold on to it for now."
But you're better. I don't...
This shield belongs to the champion of Shellen. Right now, I feel that's you. The day that you feel that you're not, come find me. I'll take it back.
Then I won't let you down.
And she nods and claps you on the shoulder. And you hear from behind you your mom say in a stern voice, "Well, hold on just a minute. I believe that no one less than a white knight is allowed to carry the shield. I guess we'll just have to fix that, won't we? Rhea, daughter, would you kneel?"
She'll kind of just look around at everyone and slowly kneel down.
She'll take out her sword. "For upholding the values of the Lilac Order and defending the keep and doing Shellen proud, I bestow upon you the rank of White Knight. Rise, Rhea. Rise a full paladin."
She will rise.
And breaking ceremony, your mother will hug you.
She'll hug back, like, the biggest smile on her face.
And then she'll let go and she'll look around at the rest of you. "And all of you. I saw what all of you did. You saved so many lives today. My daughter was lucky to have found you." Please, everyone. We're all tired, we're all hungry. Most of us aren't hurt, and those that are, it's not life-threatening, nothing a little lay on hands hasn't cured. Please, food and ale is down below. We should celebrate our win.
Think a bit of ale and celebration is just what we need. So we can toast to Rhea, the newest White Knight.
And there's
give him a little clap.
there's a cheer of paladins in the room. You hear cheering loudest is your little twin siblings as they rush to you and just kind of like go up to you and go, "Really? I thought you said it would take years."
It certainly should have.
And you see your mom kind of like scratch your chin. May be breaking a tradition or two. But hey, what's the point of being a head if you can't make some rules, huh? Food! Food for everyone! And she just kind of walks out, kind of blushing.
Ross is gonna go and see if she can find Kieran, who she assumes is over near the ales.
Yep, already there. Just refilling, starting to run out from her stores on the walls that she's trying to juggle against herself.
She'll ask if she could have one.
Oh, yep, you could have this one right here. Just feel that. Careful of the foam. She hands it over.
She'll just chug the whole thing.
See, there you go. That's how you do it. Now you're learning. Here's your second one. Wanna sit down, hang out with me? Everyone seems very busy. Drinking.
Yeah. Think so.
Excellent. She will try and guide her over towards her friends so they can just sit in a group, but just start laying things out on the table in front of everyone that she can.
And you'll see some of the less winded guards also helping with that. And believe it or not, sitting at one of the tables, being forced to sit by a bunch of paladins clapping him on the shoulders, is young Billy. Being treated like
Oh, Billy.
like quite the war hero. Because, let's face it, folks, he did more than most of the people in this citadel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. A hero was born this day.
We were there for the beginning of the birth of the legend of Billy.
God damn it. So, Squee, where is Pigs right now?
Where's who?
Pigs?
Oh,
The goblin.
I don't know, Kieran. Where's
Where is
Pigs?
he?
My bag friend that I like to take out of my bag every now and then and feed a little and give him some ale and put him back in.
Yep.
Is he still in the bag?
Oh, yep, here he is! And I pull out tied pigs and set him down and give him some ale.
Is he still tied up?
Yep.
Oh my god!
Look, Kieran, he's not crazy. She doesn't trust him.
I know better. He'll admit it. He'll stab us on his sleep, won't ya?
He nods vigorously. Happy
That's
as a
fine.
lark.
We'll stay tied up till we get home, and then we'll work on that.
Till you get home.
Oh, yes, I was thinking about going home eventually here. I mean, maybe not quite yet, but I could raise another goblin.
Wait, you're gonna take the goblin with you?
Of course. You want me to leave him here with you guys? He'll stab you in your sleep, won't ya?
He nods again, happy as a lark.
I feed him some ale, give him a ration. You're welcome to come visit me anytime, of course. All of you are.
Do you raise a lot of goblins?
Oh, well, there was Foosrow and Dawn, Gizzard and Greenest, and now there's this little guy. I think I've had about 8 more, but their names were things like Rock and Stone and Tree, so it's really hard to pick them out from each other sometimes, especially when they keep trading their rock, their stone, and their...
Ross is just kind of blown away of the idea of an orphanage of goblins.
There weren't only goblins. I got Land. He was an elfin boy. His grandma died. That's all he had, and I took him in. There was Sung. She's a little sorcerer girl, and she kind of helps out in my tavern a bit. Let's see. There was Dariel. He was a little runt. I tell you, he broke into every whorehouse he could possibly find, every city he went to, till he showed up in my room. Tried to make it a brothel. Paddled his bottom good.
There's like more than one paladin that kind of chokes on their drink at that.
Yeah, Ross is just kind of like, oh, okay.
There were some a lot of accidents in the mines, left a lot of children without parents, and there were some heroes that lived in my town. They just kept bringing home friends, and they'd give them to me, and usually their friends were under the age of 7, so what's a woman supposed to do? I'm sure if you were given a bunch of children, you'd have no choice but to raise them too.
That's actually really true. That's exactly what Mary's doing. So
Muri?
yeah, back home, Corvosa.
She's raising a bunch of children, orphans.
We found them a while back, with Otto. And hey Amelia, what was Otto's daughter's name?
Shit.
Letta.
Here, maybe if
Her
you
name is
drink
Letta.
more, you'll know.
Letta. I mean, she's at the orphanage. I'm sure I would have
She
talked.
just said that her name was shit.
Shit. No, but yeah, her name is Letta, and his wife's name is Anna.
Anna. Yeah. I could remember Anna, but I'm like, that's the wife. That's not the kid. You would probably like Moiri. She, you two have a lot of similarities. I'm sure you would have a lot of stories to trade.
Oh? Well, maybe I could swing by sometime and meet her. I wouldn't mind. Quick trip before we go home? Isn't that right, pigs?
He nods, happy as a lark.
Gives him ale, gives him ration, scritches behind his ears, rubs his little back so he has no itches, and puts him back in the...
This is such an upgrade from living in the cave.
What,
He gets his own bag.
What's your city like?
Oh, it's a small town. It's a larkspur surrounded by mountains, fairly hidden from everybody. It takes a lot of trouble to find, let me tell you. You can't pinpoint it very well on any maps. We got a lot of different species there, from different individuals from strange places. It's rather nice. There's only probably about 400 or 500 people. Most of the farm community spread out, but we don't have many trouble, because again, you can't quite get through those mountain passes. It's very beautiful and very dangerous in the winter to travel. We usually just close ourselves in. You got some nice ale. You know everybody in town by name. God hope if you don't know all their dirty laundry as well.
Well, I'm not sure if Corvosa right now is the safest place for all those kids.
Oh? Do you have any other plans, or?
No, not really.
Well, I got lots of space since most of my children are grown now, and I could use some more help around the tavern, you know. teach them good people skills and carrying mugs here and there, washing dishes. I got some friends out there that can teach people to wield a sword if they need it, if they decide. Two of our best rangers that guard the mountain passes. They were our orphans, so since all of them are cleared out, I've got some room if you need me. I could definitely use for something to do. She fidgets like she's just been super bored.
Well, I mean, if you stick around us, you definitely won't be bored.
But I think that I could be a less kind of bored with, macaroni noodle art.
Well, maybe we should talk to him when we get back. Where were those people in the cave? Are they still around?
No,
The
they
merchants?
left.
They left. Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
it was too dangerous for them to stay.
I just want to make sure.
I thought one of them stayed.
Not that I remember.
Okay.
Never mind.
One of them might have, but
I
apparently
thought
not
so
important
too,
enough
but
for me to
it's fine.
remember.
Yep. I couldn't pick them out if I looked through the room, so it's fine.
By the way, you do see Brunhilde and Baboom eating and drinking merrily, and Baboom is telling flamboyant stories of all the Eldritch Blasts that did absolutely nothing. Like he's whooshing with his drink like it's some spectacular thing, but he's quite very, very honest about the fact that he missed so much. But he doesn't seem any less happy about it.
It was truly incredible. Didn't hit a single spider.
Exactly.
God
It's like,
damn.
I'm actually quite impressed with myself. If I do say so. I've never missed something so much in my life.
Oh.
Freya, what are you doing right now?
I'd say Freya's probably just kind of more stoic, not as cheerful as the other people. I don't think she'd know what to think after something like this.
Yeah.
This is
no.
probably very foreign to her.
All right.
I mean, it
Whereabouts
should
would
hopefully
she
be foreign
be?
to everyone, but
Whereabouts would she be?
I mean, she would have gone with Vincastrican to help the wounded
Well,
Crimson
there
Guard soldier.
are no
Do that.
more wounded.
Yeah.
You're in a
We've got
castle of
40
paladins.
paladins in
Couple of
here.
lay on
Right,
hands,
right.
and the day was
You
done.
know, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I mean, I honestly thought there'd be a lot more wounded and dead, but you know,
Only one spider. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I guess she might have followed Vincastrican here, but she probably wasn't really paying too much attention to what was going on.
Gotcha. What are Rhea and Amelia doing right now?
I guess if Rhea went back down to the hall, then Amelia would have followed after. I imagine she would probably end up spotting Freya and checking on her, ask if she's alright.
And this is here at like the dining hall with everyone around.
Yeah, just not like, wow, you look like shit, but more like,
Right.
hey, are you feeling okay?
She would probably take a second to react and look and say, I think I'm feeling alright. I'm just still processing. That's all.
Processing the fight?
Well, a bit. I don't really like using that type of magic. The harmful kind. It's kind of foreign to me. As a student, it's not exactly like I go around practicing that. It's not really my taste.
Suppose that's fair, though, to be honest, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I don't think I don't think I killed that many. I mostly just tried to hurt the spiders, but towards the end I stopped thinking and I just kind of let loose. So I'm not really sure what happened.
And you're not okay with that?
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking about right now.
I see. Amelia looks at Freya for a moment, kind of thoughtful. And it's pretty clear she wants to say something, but she's not really sure what to say. And finally, she lands on, I'm not very good with talking, but if you ever want to, I'm fairly good at listening.
Well, she looks up at you, smiling some, a bit more cheerful. She says, "Of course. That sounds nice. I'll probably take you up on that. I'm sure I have a lot to vent about, honestly."
She nods and says, well, for now, apparently there's plenty of alcohol and plenty of food. So, I suppose try and let yourself breathe for a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with leaving early.
She kind of like looks down probably at the table, like across maybe from the room where the alcohol is and stuff like that, and she has this kind of, I don't want to say disgusted, but like unsure look, like but she looks back at you and says, "Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. I might retire early for the night. I've never really been a fan of such loud places. I get away with it with small lecture halls, but everyone seems so cheerful. I suppose that's a good thing. It's just loud."
Amelia kind of follows your gaze over to the alcohol, and when you look back at her, she's kind of making the same face, just kind of like,
Yeah.
And she just nods and goes, "That is very fair. Well, like I said, I'm here if you want to talk." And she gets up and starts heading out because she's done.
As actually you're heading out, you like walk almost right into Julian and a few other paladins, and he, without a word, puts an arm around your shoulders, as uncomfortable as that makes you, and turns you around as he goes, "Everyone, I want to say something. My dear, if you would stay for just a little bit longer."
There's like a flash of just sheer regret, and she tries so hard to conceal it behind that awkward smile and just nods stiff as a board in his arm.
And Rhea, where you are, Shala is right before that happened, while Amelia was talking to Freya. Shaw is sitting down with you, and she's just like giving you this moon-eyed gaze, not saying a word.
That's gay.
Yeah, well, eventually she'd go, I was very terrified, scared when you fought death. I shouldn't have been. You were amazing. I won't doubt you again.
Honestly, for a moment there, I doubted myself. My father, he told me what had to happen to help Claire. And I suppose I was still making my peace with that. I guess I'm just happy that I didn't have to be the one to do it.
Right. Well, I'm not very proud of my background, but I can tell you this, and it may help. Death chose his path, not you. But if it helps, I'll leave that part out of the new song I write about you.
There's another?
There's always going to be another, Rhea. And as you say that, Rune actually taps Shala on the shoulder and goes, Shala, oh, right. Speaking of, would you excuse me? We have to start discussing the next verse. I'll be back.
Oh, of course.
And Rune kind of looks back and forth and looks at Shala, and the two old friends kind of share a smile and kind of walk out of the room, kind of talking lowly to each other. Right a few seconds before Julian walks in and says, I'd like to tell you all something. I do not want it to be ever said that we of the Lilac Order are not hospitable guests, especially to those who have fought so hard to protect us when they are not even part of our order. Aras, Amelia, Freya, Kieran, Van Castrican, all of you. You are truly friends this day. Honorary members of the Order of the Lilac. If you ever need our aid, we will be there. And I truly mean that. I have heard what is happening in Korvosa. I have heard the need it is in. And we will not stand by and let it happen while doing nothing. Rest up, everyone. Sleep well, because on the morrow, the Order of the Lilac marches to Korvosa to offer what aid it can. And there's a cheer. And when the cheering dies down, Julian holds up his hands. But to our guests, to our honored saviors, we have another gift of your choice. We have been around a long time, and we have gathered a great many items. And something tells me that your stories are far from done. So we present these to you as gifts. And they lay out on the tables a selection of items that each of you can choose one of. Rhea? Just gonna say this kind of mechanically speaking. You can choose one, but you kind of have to leave the shield behind. It's your choice.
That's fine.
Don't have to go over this now. You can kind of just peruse it as things are going on. But there's some pretty neat items there. The paladins do not get stingy when they show their gratitude. there's more cheering, and Julian walks over to Rhea, the first time having seen his daughter since the fight, as people are congratulating as you guys are going over the items, and Julian goes up and hugs Rhea, and he goes, I didn't get a chance to congratulate you on everything. You did us all proud, and you deserve your rank.
Oh, well, it was really Portly that finished this, I suppose.
Portly. A paladin and their steed are one and the same. Didn't I teach you that?
Of course.
Did you think it was accident that Portly was there by your side when no one else could be?
I hadn't really thought about it.
He smiles. Unfortunately, I feel this gift is as much a curse as a blessing. I don't think that our days ahead are going to be peaceful ones, my daughter, Rhea. But you don't have to face it alone. As I said, I meant the Order, all of us, minus a few to stay here and watch the castle. We're going to go offer our aid to Cressida however we could be used.
I'm sure it will be greatly appreciated.
He nods. And then all of a sudden there's a scream. As towards the back of the hall, you all see a person crawling towards the hall, drenched in blood, leaving behind a trail of blood, so covered in blood that it's hard to tell at first who it is. Everyone roll me perception checks, please.
Oh, no.
I don't think I want to.
Yeah, Ross is off in thought.
Did mine not roll? What the fuck?
Nope.
Nope.
You're not up there.
You did
You're
not
not
roll.
allowed to perceive.
Amelia, Rhea, Kieran, Freya. You see Jolistina crawling on the floor towards the hall, through the door. And as she makes it through the door, she collapses.
Oh, Jesus, Amelia runs to her? What?
You run to her, and you're able to... Mm-hmm.
Did anybody say anything at the... Sorry, did you say anything?
Did you not hear what he was saying? Or
Well,
did
no,
you not hear
Ross
what I
doesn't know. She didn't succeed
Yeah,
the
Ross doesn't
perception.
know, so...
Oh,
That's
yeah,
where-
no, she doesn't say anything. She just runs.
You're
I think
able
Freya
to...
probably would too,
Yeah.
honestly.
Got you. You guys kneel around her. Amelia, you're able to kind of turn her over, and she looks up at you. Amelia... She came.
What?
She offered me a seat at the table. But I'm done. I'm done being used by anyone.
Who?
Run. She's come. She's come for her daughter. And with that, she passes out, alive but unconscious, bleeding heavily.
Oh my god, she just screams, "Someone, please!"
I will run up at that point and cast Cure Wounds.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rhea's also trying to lay on hands.
Okay, how much lay on hands do you use?
I'll use all of it if I can.
Sure. And Aras?
Is she unconscious?
No. With the lay
Okay.
on hands, Jolestina, and you see now as you're close to her, her body is covered in dozens of shallow cuts. She has been literally flayed. The healing hands. How many hit points do you have?
35.
You're able to close most of them up and definitely keep her from dying, but the exertion of everything, she must have crawled up here from the dungeon. She is still unconscious but sleeping peacefully.
Jesus Christ. Amelia is just shaking, holding her, and just on the verge of tears. And
Who?
Go ahead.
Who is she? Who is she talking about? Who's coming? Ross is asking this of him.
Yeah, Amelia looks up, she doesn't answer, and she looks around to try and spot Shala.
Shala's not in the room.
Where's Shala?
She. Rhea immediately gets up and runs towards where she saw Shala leave.
Do the others follow?
Yeah. Follow.
Is Julian nearby?
Julian's kneeling down beside you, yes.
Oh, thank God. Okay, yeah. Amelia just kind of gently lays. She gently lays Jolestina down and goes, "Stay with her," and just takes off in the same direction as Rhea.
Alright. Freya, what about you?
Oh, jeez. She will follow. She's also going to, as an action, cast Detect Magic. She just has that on while walking
Right.
around. It
Understood.
matters.
Gotcha. Kirani?
Yeah, I draw out my sword and shield and start following the group, trying to keep myself at least lined up or near the front.
As well as following
five.
you is Van Kastriken. About 20 other paladins, including your mother and sister and brother and Baboom. Everyone just kind of rushes out.
Mm-hmm. As we're running, Amelia is going to try and explain that Jolestina knew Shala and she knew her family.
Wait,
Gotcha.
the assassins?
Yes.
And so Shala's mother's here to take her back? I'm sorry, I'm a little
He
slow.
might- That would be my best guess.
Freya, you do sense powerful magic from the courtyard. You can tell where it's coming from. You can tell it's of the school of evocation.
Oh. She would speak up then while they're talking and say, "There's something waiting for us outside. Something very serious. Something magical. Of a dangerous kind.
How far outside?
The courtyard."
Rhea doesn't even wait for anything else. She activates the fleetness materia she has and just goes.
Ross is going to cast Eyes of the Grave. Well, I guess it's a feature where you could sense the presence and location of undead
Okay,
for 60 feet.
okay. You don't sense any undead. Freya, Rhea, and the rest of you will follow close behind, I'm sure, yes?
Mm-hmm.
You get to the courtyard, and you see, standing underneath one of the well-manicured trees, 3 figures. Shala, hands at her side, head down, between 2 women. These women look very similar to Shala, related almost. One, perhaps a few years older. Another, hard to tell, almost ageless in her beauty, but she is by far one of the most beautiful women you've ever seen. And as you run into the courtyard, the ageless one looks up. Ah, here they come at last.
Rhea just screams at her. Get away from her!
Oh, I don't think so. She was mine long before you thought she was hers. But rejoice. Oh, where are my manners? Of course. I apologize. This is Shala, my daughter. You may have met her before. Her sister, Camille. And I, Rosabella Valentine, at your service. And she gives a curtsy.
Why do you want Shala?
Ooh.
Okay.
Give me a second. Hagen was stretching.
The fucking timing.
And she looks a little surprised. What mother wouldn't want her daughter back? Silly elf dwarf, I mean.
What mother would force their daughter against their will?
Any mother who knows their children need discipline. I wanted to see you all. And out of respect for Shala, as she has agreed to come with us in return for this, I'm here to offer you all a choice. You had your fun with my daughter, infecting her mind with your ways. But we have come for her, and she is to return to the fold. And you are to forget you ever knew her. Do this, and I will consider our business done, and will forget you exist.
No.
I would think carefully if I were you. You know who we are.
There's nothing we can do to change your mind?
Change my mind? About my own daughter? No, I don't think so. But you can save yourselves.
Ross is just gonna look to Shala.
Shala with her head down. And Rosabella will eventually sigh, cluck her teeth, and say, Shala, dear, I don't think they're listening to me. Perhaps you should speak to them. Shala will, still head down, take a few steps forward and stop a few feet away. And then she'll look up for the first time, tears running down her cheeks. I'm sorry. It was the only way to keep you all safe.
Rhea, with basically their faces matching, is that tears have started streaking down. It's just her voice breaks. Shala, please don't.
Shala will put her hand out in front of her as if it's hitting an invisible wall. And she'll say, Rhea. Rhea, please come here.
She'll step forward.
And she goes, I'm so sorry. But they'll kill you. They'll kill you all.
Freya kind of hesitantly steps forward a bit, looking at, I believe her name is Rosabella.
I'm sorry, say that one more time?
She kind of hesitantly steps forward, looking at Rosabella.
Uh-huh.
Are you sure you want to do this? I can't say that all of us are the best fighters. But you're standing inside of... She kind of looks around and then looks behind her at the, 30 paladins. Well... I don't know how else to phrase this. You may be skilled, but talent doesn't replace numbers.
Oh, my young one. You'd be quite wrong at that. You're welcome to try anything you want. You'll never touch me in here. And Freya, you can tell the spell you sensed is in a dome-like shape around them. And Shala is at the edge of it.
Maybe not. Maybe not today. But what does that matter? It doesn't have to be today. There's more for me to question as well. Are you sure? Are you sure you can actually discipline her?
Are you trying to tell me how to raise my own daughter?
I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm trying to tell you... No. You've already seen this. Your discipline isn't going to work.
Oh. I see now I've been too gentle with her. Shala, I'm growing
Gentle?
tired. Say your goodbyes. Shala looks at Rhea. What can I do?
I don't know. I'll find you.
Sorry, my headphones fell out.
Good job there, Steven.
Sorry.
Did you catch any of that?
No,
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
So, Rui basically just says, I don't know. But I'll find you.
She'll kill you. Don't you understand?
I can't just... I won't let it end like this.
Rhea, roll me a persuasion check at advantage. Aras, yes?
I just wanted to know, would I be able to approach Shala? Does it look like I could come up to her and give her something?
It looks like you can approach her. You don't see anything in between you.
I got a 26.
Yes, you did. So while you're talking, Aras, you could approach.
Okay. I just want to, give her something to, remember us by, but also something in case later. Maybe try to locate her with it.
What is it?
Just a golden snuff box.
As you reach out with the golden snuff box, your hand hits a solid surface. You can't see anything, but as sure as if there was a wall in front of you, you can't pass it. And you can see now that Shala's hand's on the other side of it.
You surely wouldn't, begrudge a parting gift.
Rosabella snorts. And drop my guard. Do you think me a fool? Rhea, while this is happening, Shala's looking into your eyes. She closes hers. I told you I'd never doubt you again. She opens her eyes. I meant it. And behind her, Rosabella says, Shala, this has gone on for far too long. Now listen to your mother. Let let us go. Shala takes a deep gulp. Mother, I only know one person worthy of that name. And her name is Mwiri. And Shala turns around, preparing to fling a spell. And Camille, her older sister, flicks her wrist in a counterspell, snapping it out of her hand. And with her other hand, in a flash, a whip flies from her, encircling Shala. The whip jolts her with electricity, and Shala screams. She falls to her knees. What do you guys do?
Rhea is just... As soon as she realizes there's a barrier there, she would try to run up to her. She's just banging her hands against it, trying to get through.
Since Aras is there, she's gonna go up to Rhea and grab her hand and try to step back. We're only hurting her.
Could Freya roll a check to see if she could recognize the exact spell?
Absolutely. Anyone proficient in Arcana can.
Okay. She's
Haha,
going to
I am.
Make an Arcana check.
Alright.
Oh.
Alright. Both of you know this spell, even though you've never been able to cast it yourselves. It's called a Wall of Force. It is a spell that repels anything, even dispel magic. Freya, you would know this. There's only one spell that you know of that can get rid of it, and it's quite a bit beyond your level at the moment. It's Disintegration.
It's
Or-
also something Freya would never want to use.
Or
Yeah.
Wish. Wish might do it too. But short of that, it's a very powerful spell. But you do know that magic cannot be cast inside or outside of it. Meaning that, as far as you understand, if she's to leave, she has to drop the force, Wall of Force, in everything you've ever experienced.
I think Freya would probably sit there and talk for a little, but would just look over at Rosabella and say, "Well, I hope you have some plan of leaving. That's not going to stay up much longer. You still have a bunch of people quite angry at you right now."
Rosabella looks at you, anger in her eyes. Shala, who is fallen to her knees, right in front of Rhea, hand almost on the wall where Rhea's was. You hear her very faintly say, "Thank you, Ross, Amelia, Freya, Rhea. Thank you for everything." And with that, she'll turn one last time and rush Rosabella. Rosabella casts a very powerful sleep charm, and Shala falls to the floor. Camille picks her up, and Rosabella is staring at all of you with hatred blazing in her eyes. "How dare you? How dare you force my hand?" Understand this. Every assassin who ever owed me a favor, every member of my Red Mantis, every single one of them will be hunting you. From this day forward, wherever you go, wherever you sleep, there will be a blade waiting for you.
I'll be waiting. I'm sure
Isabella,
you'll be able to find us.
You're a terrible mother. I
Her
don't
eyes.
think I have to tell you that.
Her eyes blaze. And then she closes them, calms herself. You seem quite knowledgeable, young wizard. Do you know much about the druids?
Should I guess I should roll a check for that? Because
You can.
or should I just assume?
It's not exactly something they teach in the academy.
Yeah. That's actually one of the few intelligence checks she doesn't know that much about, so... I will roll a nature check then?
Sure, by all means. But just so you know, like, this was a rhetorical question. She just continues on whether you answer or not. But go ahead, please.
Oh, okay.
You know a bit, but you don't seem to have any idea where she's going with this.
Okay.
She walks over to the tree and she goes, "Marvelous spells they have. The one that allows you to stride from tree to tree. Well, these trees are generally too big, but a little bit of pruning, and they fit in just fine." And she'll smile over her shoulder. And then she casts travel via plants, and a circle opens up in the tree. And then Camille walks through with Shala's unconscious body. And she looks back, Rosabella, at you one last time. "I don't think we'll ever see each other again." And then she steps through. And the door closes around her. Freya, you instantly feel the wall of force fall.
I'm currently holding on to Freya. Rhea, sorry.
Right.
Wrong one.
Freya, you idiot!
Yes, I've got one hand choking Freya, the other one pulling Rhea back.
Exactly.
There's a moment of stunned silence.
Ross is constantly telling Rhea, "We'll find her, we'll get her back."
Rhea is an absolute mess of tears, and she's just on her knees screaming at where they just were.
We'll get her back. They won't win.
Amelia walks over to both of them and then just drops down to her knees and wraps her arms around Rhea and says, "We'll find her. We'll get her back."
Rhea, what's your passive perception?
Oh my god, I don't know. Hold on.
Oh, 12.
12.
Okay, that's fine. You notice, out of the corner of your eye, Rune standing quietly in the crowd. Rune, who you recall, spent time at the Valentine house training to be a bard.
That fucking bastard. I don't know if that would click for Rhea. Okay. So, seeing him, she would, probably pretty shakily, make her way back into a standing position and go towards him.
He sees you start towards him, and he tries to run. Doesn't get very far. There's almost 40 paladins surrounding the area.
Yeah, and I'm sure that fleetness thing that Rhea's got going helps a little bit.
Oh yeah, he does not get very far at all.
She just corners him as best she can between a wall or a group of paladins or whatever.
Rhea, I didn't know. I didn't know.
How did this happen?
Shala said to come outside, and we were gonna talk about, stuff, and she was there, and I couldn't do anything.
Can I insight check him?
Yes, you can. All of you can if you'd like. You're all
God
hearing this.
damn it. That's a 14.
12.
Oops. Oh, I thought I rolled twice.
Oh, snap.
Amelia.
Wow.
Rhea, Freya, and Amelia. He is obviously very scared and not doing a very good job of covering his feelings. He looks like he is blatantly lying. He's stumbling too much for words.
Why? You're lying. Why?
He'll look around frightened, and then his face will resign. Because when the Black Rose asks you for something, you don't say no.
I won't forget this.
Wow, I sure was muted there. Okay. So yeah, Amelia walks up behind Rhea and looks at Rune and goes, Shala is the only reason you're alive right now. I hope you realize.
I realize. But I don't have much that I can tell you. He looks around. If I tell you what I can, you give your word you'll let me go?
I suppose that's up to the more honorable among us.
He'll
And
look to
she is,
Rhea.
yeah, she's glaring into his soul.
Rhea takes a moment and takes a very deep breath and steadies herself for a second. You are going to tell me everything that you know. And in return, you will live.
I have your oath as a paladin.
I think he should stay here until we have her back.
And you should add a condition to that. If he is going to confess, even if he's not a good liar, we should still make sure he can't hide anything. I'm sure there's someone here who
I can do that.
Truth. Okay.
Can you
As
do it
long
right
as he's
now?
fine with that.
Or do you need to rest?
I would need to rest, yes. But he's not going anywhere right now.
One of the paladins that is holding him. Damn right he's not going anywhere. Actually, Rhea, what spell were you thinking of?
Zone of Truth?
Oh god, there's paladins everywhere. One
Yeah.
of them knows this spell. One of them will just stand up and, actually, you know what? It would be Claire. She would stand up and go, I'll do it. She'll cast Zone of Truth. Ask your questions.
Well, first off, do you know where they've taken her?
I know that they went back to Corvosa. The entire family is operating out of there now, under orders of Queen Iosa.
Under... What do you know about the Queen right now?
She is our employer. I I know that he kind of licks his lips. I know that she hired us to kill the king, to frame the blonde-haired girl. And I know that she utilizes our skills still.
Do you have any evidence of this?
Do you think the Valentines leave evidence?
Amelia narrows her eyes at him and goes, "Sarcasm will get you very, very... Just answer the fucking questions."
Then no. The Valentines are the best assassins in the world. They do not make mistakes. They do not leave evidence. This night, this incident, this was not done quickly or on a whim. The Black Rose moves with purpose. She was planning to take Shala back for weeks, waiting for the right time and moment. They do not make mistakes.
It tells us nothing. We knew that.
Ross kind of chuckles to herself, going, "Damn it, I knew we were walking into an assassin trap."
She asked if there was evidence. There is none. None that points to the family, at least.
What do they want with Shala?
She's their daughter. They want her back.
Well, if there's no evidence that points to the family, that's annoying. What about any of the other members of Black Rose?
The Red Mantis?
The Red Mantis? I don't know. Tell me something.
You really don't know anything, do you?
Why would I waste my time studying about assassins?
He sighs. The Valentines employ a legion of assassins called the Red Mantis. The Black Rose is their head. Most of you will never have seen one because most people who do never see anything again.
About how many?
Hundreds. Though, I assume not all of them are in one place at any one time. How many are here or in Corvosa? Your guess would be as good as mine. The Valentines never tell anyone the whole story, especially not someone lowly like me. I was only chosen because I was friends with Shala, because she trusted me.
Do you know where they're operating out of in Corvosa?
He shakes his head. No. They move as the needs require them to, and, well, if you recall, I have been imprisoned by the cultist for quite some time. I hadn't had no contact with the Valentines until they came to me and asked me to come here.
But you've been to a residence of theirs, correct?
He nods.
Would you be able to guide us there?
You've already been
Even
there.
if...
Where?
Your friend burned it to the ground.
Of course.
Oh, we found Jolistina.
He nods.
Oh. That's... distressing. I assume you haven't been to any other residence of theirs?
No. As I said, I had no cause to. Until I was needed, I was simply ruin, a bird, nothing more.
Do you have anything useful? to tell me?
Shala is in Corvosa. I just narrowed your search down to one city instead of an entire world. That little spell she has, the travel via plants, it has a range of hundreds of miles. I'd say I told you a lot. Enough to keep your oath.
I wouldn't break it.
I'm sure we can find a nice place for you to stay. Until Shala's back with us.
He shrugs.
Yes. We'll see if the Black Rose actually repays the favor at all. Then we'll see if you understand where your loyalty should lie.
Maybe. He doesn't seem very convinced. And, Claire will take him. Real, lock him up. Best I do it.
Before she goes, Amelia's gonna put a hand on her arm and go, make sure he doesn't have anything on him.
Oh, we're gonna throw him in there naked. Trust me. Shala was my friend too. And she literally picks him up and flings him over her shoulder and starts walking towards the dungeons.
Toss him like a sack of potatoes.
Freya would look over to Amelia and say, I know this might not be the best time, but you should go check on her. Celestina.
You hear a voice of Cadence, Ria's mother. Celestina is being attended to in the infirmary. She is okay.
Portly, please.
He's really upset
He's
about
very
Shala,
distraught.
man.
Yep. Ross will walk over to Rhea and just put her arm around her and say, we'll get her back. Don't worry, get her back.
She just has her head down. There's still tears streaking down her face, and she is shaking.
She'll look to Kieran. Can we get her a drink?
Yep, coming right up. I'll waddle my way up there and hand her one if she's paying any attention. I'll just kind of hold it in front of her, waiting.
It'll calm your nerves.
I don't think drinking's the best idea right now.
Cadence,
I'm not saying get drunk, but take the edge off it.
Cadence will actually take Rhea by the shoulders and lift her chin up. Rhea? What are you going to do now?
She kind of just wipes at her face. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to find her.
She nods. Then we're leaving. In the hour. Back to Corvosa. We'll go talk to Cressida. She has to know something. Father will stay here with a few others. The rest of us, we're not leaving tomorrow, we're leaving today. And she lifts up her voice. Do you hear me? Everyone, gear up, mount up. We ride for Corvosa in an hour. She looks to Rhea and nods at you.
She doesn't really respond.
And then she'll go away, starting to prepare.
Real quick, is Shala's stuff still in her room? Like her violin and everything?
Yes.
Oh.
Ross will go in and start packing it, getting it ready to go. And she is like very like, you know that scary calm that
Yeah.
people get? She's like that.
Gotcha.
Well, at least one of us is calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amelia doesn't have that much stuff, and so she packs fairly quickly, and she will go check on Celestina briefly.
Okay. You get there, and you see Celestina in the infirmary. And as you walk in, she sits up. Amelia. Sorry, I tried to warn you.
The whole way there, Amelia had been just trying to mentally prepare herself. And as soon as she sees Celestina and she hears her pretty much just apologizing for not getting there fast enough while pretty much having been flayed alive, the tears just start and she just leans against the wall and shakes her head.
What did they say?
Shala has been taken. Hopefully we will be able to find her. No, we will find her. And we are leaving. I am leaving.
Amelia. Nothing is more important to the Valentines than family. They will kill you all simply for dishonoring them.
They can try.
She'll smile a little bit. Be careful. Watch for ones that wear armor of red, the head of a mantis. They are swift, they are deadly, they are dangerous, and they are everywhere.
She'll nod.
I wish I could go with you. But I know now I can't.
You need to stay here.
Until I find a way to say I'm sorry. And she puts her head down, looking at her hands.
Goodbye. And Amelia will leave.
Okay. The rest of you? What are you doing?
So, after Aras packs Shala's things from her room, he's gonna go up to Rhea. Where is Rhea?
Rhea would have eventually, like, absentmindedly made her way to pack her things as best she could.
I'm assuming those are near each other?
Right next to each other.
Yeah.
So when Aras is done, she'll come up to Rhea and she'll tell her, You need to stay strong. This isn't the first time Gadrian's done this. And got somebody to take somebody that I care about, or you care about. But we won't let him win.
She just She nods and continues trying to pack into her backpack. She's probably missing times, just her eyes just to you.
I'm sorry, you were a little cut out, but Aras just kind of helped quietly. If after that's done, if Ria's just quiet, Aras is gonna ask, do you have a temple? In the
We have a shrine to Shellen, yes. Oh, wait, sorry. You're asking Ria.
Yeah.
Ria speaks with a voice unlike hers.
What is this? Yeah. Because there are different, gods that the different paladins worship, so I'm assuming they'd have
Correct.
different
yeah,
shrines.
not
yeah.
all the Order of the Lilac are paladins of Shellen. Your family generally is, but not all of them.
Yeah. So, she'll say, yes, we we have a few shrines.
perhaps go and pray before we leave.
That's a bad idea. And she'll start making her way towards the shrine for Shellen.
Alright. As you and Aras approach the shrine, Freya, Kieran, and Amelia, or let's say Freya and Kieran, what are you guys doing? As everyone's rushing around preparing.
I don't think Freya has so much stuff that would take her long. She probably spend some time going back over to where they were standing, just looking to see if anything was left behind, anything she could pick up that might have been dropped by one of them. For instance, if Shala dropped something, she would also probably, not that it would matter, but she would probably just sort of look at the tree for a while and thought about the spell.
Alright. Kieran?
Kieran's gonna drink a little bit more and ponder this. She's gonna walk around, make sure she's seen everything that there is to see, and then she's gonna take her bag out. She's gonna take Pigs out, and she's gonna throw out a whole bunch of stuff in her bag to try and make it more comfortable for Pigs.
Got it.
And she's going to fill what she can of her bag with any free food that they allow her, and maybe buy a few extra flasks from Baboom and see if she can't fill them with ale. She's gonna go on a little short journey just to check out a neighboring orphanage.
When you unpack Pigs, you find that he's still shaking. The presence of such an intimidating foe just did not do him well.
It's okay, little feller. Give it like 2 more years and you'll be twice as strong as that lady. Don't you even worry. Have some ale.
And Baboom sells you what you need, but he seems much more subdued than usual, as if he's in thought. Alright. Aras and Ria, you make your way to the Shrine of Shellen. And did you have anything that you wanted to do during that, or is it more of a you just want to make it clear that you guys went there and you prayed?
Yeah, I was just trying to give Ria some comfort.
Sure.
However, whatever that may be.
So, Aras would kneel with you as you pray to Shellen. Ria, roll me a percentile die.
Oh boy.
Uh-huh. The lower the better.
Oh. No.
You pray and you say your words to Shellen, but there's little that could ease your dread this day. And I'm going to pull back a bit narratively at this point. As you guys are preparing to leave, Baboom is preparing his wagon as well, and he seems lost in thought. But eventually he'll come over to the party with Brunhilde by his side, and he'll say, "Well, my friends, it is a dark day, yes? I just wanted you to know I will only be a call away if you ever need anything, and if you do manage to find that woman again, and if you're thinking about fighting her, well, I don't take kindly to slavery. Call it a personal vice. If, my friends, you do be fighting her again, call on me. I'll fight for free."
We do have your sending. We know how to contact you.
Yes, absolutely. And do not wait for that day. Anytime you need something, please use it. And then he gets up on the wagon as he's
Freya
going to
kind
follow
of-
you guys.
Freya probably gives him a kind of worried look. She doesn't say anything, but it's like, are you sure?
He'll just give you a small nod and get up on the wagon and prepare to follow everyone out. So, before I go over real quick the journey to Corvosa, anything that you guys would do before the castle has out? Oh, I should point out, Julian. Oh no, sorry, very important. As you guys are packing up to leave, you see, leading the head, preparing and packing the horses, is of course Cadence and Sebastian in full armor with a sword on his hip, and a shield on his back.
You're coming with us?
I am. Claire's not quite well enough yet, but she says she'll follow when she can, but honestly, I think Dad might need the help here. And he'll look at Rhea, and then back to you. I gotta say, I'm not very fond of leaving, but family's family, right?
Yeah. Family's family.
And then he'll get up on the horse.
Are you sure you guys can leave the castle? The goblins won't be an issue?
I think, Cadence says, Corvosa needs us far more than this castle right now. If that family is operating in there under the Queen's will, I have fear that all of us will be needed, and more.
Yes, the Queen. She is not who she appears to be.
I see. Well,
3-day ride. We should fill you in along the way.
I would be most grateful, yes. And, a skeleton crew of 10 paladins, including Julian, will stay back to tend the prisoners, including a bugbear, who is quite surprised to still be alive, Ruin and Jolastina, but the rest, 30 paladins, including Sebastian and Cadence, and the Crimson Guard with Van Kastikin and Baboom, travel with you all back to Corvosa. The 3-day journey is quiet and somber, and there's a low drizzle that hangs in the air as an autumn rain washes over you for the 3-day trip. There's not a lot of conversation, there's no merrymaking. Camps are a dull affair as no one is in the mood for jokes or laughter very often. Except perhaps one of you, if you guys if you choose to be, but the rest of the paladins are somber. Whether thinking of what's happened or what might happen, they are taking this very seriously. Aras, do you fill in Cadence and Sebastian?
Yes,
Okay.
I will let them know about Gadrian and him taking over the queen, or is the queen.
They find the story hard to believe, but they also have no reason to doubt you. So they take you at your word. Anything of note during the 3-day journey?
So I know Eros packed Shala's thing.
Mm-hmm.
Would her violin have been among them?
Yes.
So, just at some point, Rhea probably would have gone up to her and asked.
Yeah, definitely. Think she might appreciate you holding on. And she'll give it to Rhea.
Thank you.
You know we'll get her back, right?
I'm counting on it.
I'll be here with you. Every step of the way.
And she kind of gives you a small smile back over towards where her tent would be again.
Freya, Amelia, Akirani, anything over the 3-day journey?
I'm sure Freya would be doing a lot of stuff, mostly probably talking to Baboom and Brunhilde. Probably Amelia and Ross as well. I'm sure she'd be seeking out some guidance from Baboom a bit after everything that happened. Probably thinking about what she really wants. But that could take a lot of. Like, I'm gonna skip over it for you.
Gotcha. Understood. A gist of what you would get from Baboom is he seems to be of the opinion that if you listen to your heart long enough, it will tell you everything you need to know. You simply have to learn to listen to it, as he did one day.
Okay.
And he'll also mention with a smile, buying good things at good prices can also help. But you can tell there's no gusto in it. There's no passion for the sale. It is more meant as a kindly gesture or to lighten the mood.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure Freya would laugh some at that.
All right, Amelia, Kieran.
Kieran, if you want to
Yeah.
go ahead.
Kearney's just gonna make herself useful and tend to pigs. Keep him nice, fat, and happy, and maybe let him stretch his legs but keep his arms tied to his side.
Sure.
Just kind of make herself useful to the paladins that have fed her a lot of ale over the last few.
They did not pack a lot of ale on the trip, so the 3-day journey does not have tons of it, unfortunately. But food's plentiful.
She's fine with that. She had her fill. She knows how the road goes. She'll probably first stop by a bar the minute she gets to civilization again, but until...
Gotcha. Amelia?
Amelia's not really doing much. When they aren't riding, she'll, listen with Freya and offer little bits of, like, recognition as she's talking, but she doesn't really have much in way of conversation with anyone. She's very somber, very quiet, and it's kind of hard to tell if she's sad or angry most of the time.
All right. So 3 days pass. You make your way back to Corvosa. The rain has continued, and as you ride into the city, you see people in the streets covering themselves against the drizzle. Where is the first place you guys head? Where are you headed? It's been... Well, actually, here's an important question. What pace did you set? It's a 3-day journey on normal pace. You could push that into 2 if you exhaust yourselves.
Ross would be voting for pushing it.
So would Amelia.
And she's gonna go straight to the warehouse.
All right. The rest of you good with that?
Yes.
Yeah, Rhea's just gonna fall to the right now.
All right. You guys get to the warehouse. The line of 30 paladins behind you draws a lot of... Actually, no. Sorry, they wouldn't come into the city with you, but when you got close to the city, Cadence would stop and address you all and say, I'm not sure how a column of paladins marching into town might look. When you get in there, make contact with Cressida, let her know we're here. She'll know how best to use us.
We will let her know.
And then she'll let you guys go on your way, and they'll camp outside. As, again, a column of paladins just marching through Corvosa.
Well, you know. Could be worse.
Could be. So you guys make your way into Corvosa, and you stop by the warehouse, and so Kieran, this would be your first time seeing it. It is literally a warehouse that has been retrofitted to be a pseudo orphanage. There are cots and hammocks and places all around, but while you can tell that the people here have done the best they can with what they're given, this is a sorry state of affairs for an orphanage. And given the state of the rest of the town you see around you, everyone is quiet, the streets are nearly empty. It's clear that the city has suffered a lot lately. You're not surprised. Anna greets you all and goes, You're back? Oh, thank God you're back.
Not all.
What do you... Where's Shala?
The Valentines came.
Oh no. Oh no. Murray. You have to tell Murray she's at Citadel Volshnik talking to Cressida. Oh! No, wait. Before that, there's a guest here to see you, all of you. He's been here for 2 days. He's
A guest?
quiet, keeps to himself. Says he wants to speak to you.
Okay.
And she'll point to the back corner of the warehouse where there sits a figure that at first glance is almost recognizable. A male sitting there in black clothes with a black mask and a black hood. Lithe form. At first glance reminds you of Blackjack. But then at second glance you notice they have long white hair that's done up in intricate braids. And falls maybe halfway down the back, maybe? I don't know, Wings. How would you describe the way his hair is done up?
It definitely looks some sort of ceremonial. It's looped and braided so many times it's kind of hard to tell the length. It does go about mid-back at this time. There's a number of little trinkets and brackets and things separating it in different braid styles. Stark white.
You said he's dressed, he looks like Vencarlo?
No, he looks like Blackjack. I mean,
Blackjack.
the dress.
I'm sorry.
He could be mistaken for Blackjack.
Which we knew.
You know, yes, as players.
Who, and you are?
He looks up and he kind of evaluates each one of you in turn before stand. He crosses both arms over his chest and takes almost an elegantly footing placed bow, but keeps his arms tight against. Robin, sorry. I've been waiting here a few days. You must be, and he kind of holds his hand, expecting you to introduce yourself.
Wondering why you're here?
Is this a safe place to talk, or do you have an office, or he kind of takes a few steps forward?
Anna will actually chime in. Actually, Cressida might be the safest place to talk if you mean like that. She's had a ward erected around her office, so Murray tells me, to keep things private. Because... and she'll just kind of shrug.
Well, perhaps you can walk with us to the Citadel.
Absolutely, lady. Lead the way. Takes another bow.
Gotcha.
Move us. Turn around and start going direct.
Real quick, to save poor Wings the trouble, would it be safe to say maybe Kirani would stay here and get acquainted?
She's gonna spend time with the kids, get to know the place, start making macaroni art.
What? You mean you're not gonna have a conversation with yourself?
I could, if you really want me to, but I think Kearney would be happy with the kids right now. She's had a
Yes.
long journey.
Save that when you're actually DMing.
Please. I'll have this enough later.
Yeah. Alright, so
Alright.
over to Citadel Volchnik.
All right. You guys make your way. Amelia, Rhea, Freya. Anything to say to your new guest, or you guys just wait until you get to the Citadel?
I think Freya probably just looks over at Amelia and Ross and is like, what the... But doesn't say anything.
Amelia hasn't taken her eyes off of him. Just...
I don't think Freya's as distrusting as Amelia is, but she's just confused.
You do notice that most of his face is covered, but around his eyes is ebony skin, and his eyes themselves are like red coals. Brilliant, burning and red, with no pupils.
Oh.
You make your way to Citadel Corvosa, or Citadel Volchnik. And things have changed a bit since you were here last. There's only one guard at the gate. As you approach, he knows you well enough by now. He waves you through, but there's no grin on his face. He seems very tired. As you make your way unescorted through Citadel Volchnik, as everyone there knows you by now, you see how barren the place has become. Where there used to be soldiers in the courtyards or in the training center, there is now nothing. And trash has started to pile up ever so gently on the banisters. You make your way down the hall, seeing a few guards here and there, but nothing like what you were used to seeing. You make your way to Cressida's office, and you open the door, hearing Murray talking to Cressida. Cressida sitting at a desk, her head in her hands, and Murray... Where would Murray be exactly?
Murray is sitting across from her, as is kind of their usual.
And as you walk in, you hear Murray talking to Cressida.
And you hear her saying, "It's not my place or my purpose to push you into a decision, but I think that you and I both will have to think in the coming days, the coming weeks, about what is really important to us.
I know. I. And she sees you all enter. Aras, Rhea, Amelia, Freya, you're back.
Yeah. Happened. We only left for a week.
She looks very tired. And she leans back in her chair. Funding has dried up. The Queen has spent so much money on the Grey Maidens that the Crimson Guard is... Well, I can't pay them. The ones you see left are the ones loyal enough to do this without gold. So,
Weary has stood up, and she's looking over all of you. And she seems to notice that there's something off. And she says, "You have gained one and lost one. Where's Shala?"
Everyone looks at Rhea.
Weary's face falls. "Rhea, where is Shala?"
She kind of just tenses up and she'll look down and say, her mother and her sister, finally.
And you see this look of sort of dawning horror on Weary's face. And Arouse and Amelia, y'all have known her the longest. And you know that this is, to her, you know this would be a loss of another child. And you see her kind of almost like lose the strength to hold herself up and sit down very heavily.
We will get her back. This temporary. We'll get her back, and we're going to rid the city of Gadrian once and for all.
What happened?
Ross is gonna look to Rhea to see if she wants to explain. If not, she will answer.
Rhea will just shake her head and say, when was... He seems to be on our side. He was sent to the Order and had a hand finding her.
Yeah, you're kind of cutting out, honey. I didn't hear the last part of what you said.
Oh, just that Ruin was sent to the Order by Shala's mom and had a hand in her being taken.
Weary nods slowly.
Ross is gonna put a hand on Rhea. And Shala's strong. She'll get through this. And so, also when we got to the warehouse, there was Robin. He says his name is?
He nods.
Weary's eyes narrow a little bit. I was wondering when you'd skulk in the shadows and introduce yourself.
Perhaps, Cressida says, you should all close the door behind you.
Are things really that bad?
She'll nod.
Well, if you want to be absolutely certain, I could make it so that sound doesn't leave this room.
Well, that would not be necessary, Freya, but thank you. I have already had a friend called in a favor. This room is well warded against eavesdroppers, even of the powerful variety.
I think she probably looks around and seems a bit interested in, like, looking at the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
Ross will go and close the door.
And with that, Cressida will say, you may now speak of anything you need. It will not leave this room.
He bows and he unwraps the scarf from his face and lowers the hood, and he takes off 2 very large, heavy cloaks. He's dressed in all black underneath. His skin is kind of a gray purple hue. Sharp, elongated nails are seen just under the tips of his gloves. The red glow is apparent in his eyes. His ears are rather tall for being an elf. Also, he's 6'2", so he's rather up there for what seems like his species. He's lots of bones and peaks and accents. Peaked widow's peak hairline, high cheekbones. His nose has been broken a number of times, so you can see it's been improperly set and kind of has that hook arch. He's got a chain that connects his nose to his ear on his left side, and he smiles at you all, kind of showing Fang a little bit, and then kind of takes a step back, feeling like he's just intimidated. He kind of crouches, not crouches, but slumps as if he's used to dealing with smaller creatures, and begins. I don't mean to interrupt. It does seem as though you have your own issues going on, but perhaps we could trade. I've recently had a friend go missing, and I do need help finding him. With the state the streets are in, I'm not really sure that I can take this on myself, and he would really never shut up about you. And, like, passes glance from one to the other as if he's dressing them all.
Who was your friend?
His name is Van Carlo.
That perks Weary up. You don't say.
He's gone missing.
We were to meet a few days ago, but he never showed up. He should have contacted me by now.
Squee, their correspondence was all verbal and not paper, right?
Correct.
Okay. Weary sits up and looks at him with keen interest and says, "That is very, very interesting. When was the last time you heard from him?"
It was a few days ago. We've spent the last few weeks together.
I should point out that Robin, you would while you wouldn't exactly know who this was and who it was coming from, you would know that you and Van Carlo were visited on several occasions by a small house drake named Majinko, who would give updates and ask for updates. Like, Van Carlo was using it to inform someone of what was going on.
Okay. I withhold that information.
Mm-hmm.
Also, can I reach out and touch my raven from here?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not cut off. Okay, cool.
You're not cut off, no.
I will be happy to answer any questions you have if you can assist me. And again, he, like, crosses his arms in front of him, takes a bow, and, like, holds them there as if he's trying to be less...
And were you with him in Old Corvosa?
Yes, the last 2 weeks we have spent very much time together.
Curious that you got out unscathed.
A smile comes across his face and he bears fangs. I like the streets, they fit me well.
I see. Let's just say I've been keeping tabs on him. He has a habit of getting in over his head. Now, the last time I heard from him, and she glances at Cressida, well, he was... Well, why don't you all find a place to sit? This is going to take some time.
I do want to ask, because I'm pretty sure this would be a reaction from her first hearing that Van Carlo disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Freya would have casted Sending and attempted to contact him.
You get no response. Which could mean several things. It could mean, if he was dead, you would know.
Right.
But a lack of response means they could be choosing not to speak to you. They could be unconscious. They could be behind some form of warding that would prevent it. Also, you know that in a room that is magically protected against warding and scrying, they would not be able to talk to you even if they wanted to.
That's a good point. She probably would have stepped outside, to be
Right.
fair.
So
but...
we'll say that, just to be fair, because Freya would know. But still, the result would be the same. No response, which at that point means possibly they chose not to respond, they were unconscious, or they were behind some sort of ward or barrier that would prevent them from receiving or sending messages via sending. But you do know that he is on this plane, and you do know that he is not dead.
Okay. Freya would probably interrupt Mori a little bit just to say, sorry for interrupting, but I tried to reach out to him. He's still alive, still on this plane, but you did not respond.
Mori nods. I have met similar results.
I should have accepted that. Of course. Well, if he didn't respond, he probably was in a room like this. Or probably is. If you've already tried.
Mori turns her attention from Freya back to the newcomer to the group and says, "What exactly was he having you do?" There is a lot going on in this city, and some of it you might want to steer clear of. You still have the choice.
He looks insecure, glances around the group, and says, "We were looking for a man named Salvatore Scream. He's a painter. That's about all I was aware of." He looks Freya up and down.
Freya kind of hesitantly
quite noticeable.
steps back. Like, what? She has like an anxious look.
How many people in the city? Sorry, go ahead.
She was asking for any particular reason. There has been... Well... painters have not had such good luck in the city. Let's just say.
He simply said that he knows something important, and that is the only reason why we were looking for him. You... and points at Freya. I apologize, and takes a bow. It seems to get really uncomfortable after saying you, and keeps his eyes actually on your feet now. How many people in the city can cast this spell?
You mean sending?
No, blocking a room.
Oh. I know I'm not capable of it myself, so I would assume it's very limited. but I would definitely not say it's impossible. I mean, she kind of like looks at the walls.
There is the academy, and there are multiple skilled magic users, and many of the noble houses have their own magical talents, either born into them or for hire.
So how do you propose we find him?
I really have no leads. I figure we can start by going to his house.
I believe I might be able to point you in the right direction. I've been keeping tabs on Old Corvosa, which is largely where it appears that you were working out of. Things are not good there. As you might have noticed, despite the plague being all but cured, Old Corvosa remains under quarantine, and the Queen has announced no plans to lift this quarantine. It is not good there. Supplies can get in, but anyone who goes in cannot get out. They're eating each other. It is not good. The streets are barren. Cressida was working with Giancarlo to hunt down perhaps the last man in Corvosa who could depose the Queen. Who, well, I say went missing, but I'm not sure if that means he's dead. He went missing right after the king died. And any attempts to find him or contact him since have been fruitless. Now, Mojenko, if you would please. And, from under Mary's heavy poncho comes a small house drink. If you would please tell them what you've been telling me.
Of course. Seneschal Karpopolis is, as far as I am aware, one of the only people with the power to depose a monarch. So it's not surprising that he disappeared shortly after the assassination of the king. I've been working with Cressida, which, by the way, Cressida has been watching all this quietly with tired eyes. I've been working with Cressida and Muri to help Giancarlo in this effort. I have seen you by his side, he says, looking at Robin, though I do not believe we have spoken till now.
Robin politely nods.
Giancarlo, I mean, did not tell me anything about this Salvatore Scream. But if you were looking for him, and Giancarlo was looking for Karpopolis, my guess is he thinks that the painter may know something about him. There is one last bit of information that you might find relevant. Giancarlo, his last message to us. In it, he noted an irregularity, or unusual event. He saw Rosabella Valentine having lunch with one of the patrons of the Arcona family. Given Shala, he thought this would be important to share.
Which member of the Arcana family?
Give me a second. Uno momento, por favor.
Mary will pipe up. If you will recall, the Arcona family has several houses in Old Corvosa, and in my efforts to keep tabs on what is happening, I have been, well, let's say, keeping an eye on them. They appear to have all but closed their doors to the rest of the world.
He would say, Glorio Arcona, the patron of the house.
Was he at the banquet? Would we have seen him?
Yes, he was with his sister.
Oh, not his wife? Okay.
Not his wife, his sister. I may have misspoken, I don't remember. But it is not his wife, it is his sister. I just had it. Malaya Arcona, who you have spoken to on one occasion, and know that she was the one that stole poor Van Castrican's heart.
Isn't she also the person who turned in? Satomi?
Say what? Yes, yes. That was her at the banquet.
Woohoo! Have you, Arasso look up to, Chris? Have you heard about my father? What he's been up to? Has he been up to anything at all? I know he's judge.
Yes, it seems your father has gained quite a bit of power in the past month or so. He is spearheading a crusade backed by the Grey Maidens to, well, as he says it, to root out dissenters to bring peace back to Corvosa, though some rumors suggest that he is quieting dissenters, people who disagree with what the Queen is doing.
So that raises a question just from me as a player, and also from Larry. So the last time that we were face to face with the Queen, she got shot in the head.
Yes, she did.
Has word of that gotten out? What is public opinion like of the Queen right now?
Public opinion is that the arrow grazed her head, but only everyone on the stage was close enough to actually see it go in and her pull it out. Everyone else was too far away or just didn't believe. You know what I mean? Like, such strange situations, it's likely for the human mind to fill in with blanks.
And the guy who shot her is dead.
He is not dead, but he has disappeared. And you do know this: the Talon Company, the guards that ride the hippogriffs that he was the captain of, have been completely disbanded and ousted from the city in retaliation for the assassination attempt. But only those of you on the stage were close enough to actually see what happened. The rumors on the street, or the story on the street, is that the arrow grazed her.
Gotcha. And following the plague, what is public opinion of the Queen?
Very high at the moment. They hold her and you as saviors of the town. Her quick reaction and court physicians helped contain the plague, while you helped stop it. So public opinion of both of you is fairly high at the moment, for the general populace.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cressida,
Yes.
it sounds like there are a lot of good people that are out of a job, need food and something to do and a place to stay. What can we do to help them?
You see Mary's face kind of fall.
Cressida sighs. I don't know. I barely have enough coin to pay the few people that still stay.
Well,
My funds have been cut.
We could start by trying to fix that. I mean, it's not a lot, but allies are always welcomed. And Freya will reach to her bag and just pull out her coin purse.
Freya.
We have.
No,
Sorry, go ahead.
No. She simply is one of those like Freya, but she doesn't say anything else. Just kind of shocked.
She'll just place it on the table. She's not very attached to it.
We have a lot of friends that came with them.
Friends.
She'll look to Rhea.
Most of the order have come along.
The Order of the Lilac have come here?
They're camping at the moment, right outside the city.
Her face turns to one of shock. Why?
With everything that's happened, is it so much of a surprise?
I guess, and she shares like a long look with Muri. I guess things have been on the downturn for so long. I'd forgotten that good fortune still existed. And she kind of brightens up. The Paladins, the Lilac Order here. But the Queen would never... And she kind of looks to be considering. Do you think they would wear the Crimson uniform? The Crimson Guard hasn't been disbanded, only our funding cut.
I'm sure they would do what they can to help.
I still have authority to choose who is part of the Guard. Who is with you? Your father? Mother?
My mother and Sebastian are both here.
I will send word. I will. She stands up. I will go talk to them. Yes. I could desperately use their help.
Miri clicks her tongue.
She'll look at Miri.
Cressida. Please remember to eat 3 times a day and sleep.
I will, Miri, I promise. This is the first good news we've had in weeks, Miri.
I know.
And Cressida's face looks brightened.
Gotcha.
Look, and she'll look at all of you. Trusting you may have been one of the only right decisions I've made in a long time. The streets are overrun with the Grey Maidens, and I have no faith that their best interests are in our hearts. But if we are to resolve this without conflict, if I am to maintain my oath as a Crimson Guard, we need to find Corpopolis. I will go meet with the Paladins. I will see what we can do. Their help will be of immense aid. But I'm afraid I have to rely upon you again. Find Corpopolis. Please. The city needs him.
You know we will do what we can.
And Cressida will go and stand in front of Rhea. I am sorry for what has happened to Shala. And I know in your heart, if I were you, I would march to the Arconis right now. But as hard as it may be, I must ask you, I must plead with you. The city, every soul in this city needs Corpopolis.
From behind Cressida, you see Miri nodding. I have been trying to get supplies to the war areas. Every supply run there is now has a gray maiden guard attached to it. They are taking everything that comes into the city.
In 2 months, the Grey Maidens will have a chokehold on every supply line that travels into Corvosa, and the Queen will control not only the military but the money as well.
How much is the normal operating budget?
I'm sorry, the normal what?
Crimson Guard operating budget.
For a
Weren't
full
expecting the players to dump all their money on her.
for
500 gold.
for a full component of Crimson Guard, several thousand gold a week.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
I have that right here in my back pocket. I don't know what you're...
For 1 week.
I mean, she doesn't have to go back and hire them all right now. It could just be for when we need them.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's not like money can't be put to good use. But Cressida will take the pouch that Freya puts on the desk and put it back in Freya's hands. The Paladins. The Paladins are here to help. That should be enough. You may need this. Old Corvosa is not good. And she'll look to Robin. I assume you probably know that better than most.
Takes a half bow.
Save your money. You don't know whose palms you'll need to grease or what equipment you may need. Now that the Paladins are here, I can start... Well, I can start doing my job again.
She just kind of looks down at the pouch and looks back over at Cressida with this "Are you sure?" look. But she just kind of shrugs some because she knows she's not going to argue with her over it and win.
There may come a time where it's needed. But I feel right now, finding Corpopulus is more important than any of this. I would not take away your resources.
Understood.
Ross will look at Robin. So when's the best time to get in and out of Old Corvos?
Any time's just as dangerous as the other. I don't know how well you can find your way in the dark, and I don't think we want to walk through Old Corvosa with torches.
So, in the morning then?
Nods.
It's been a long couple of days.
I would insist upon it.
I actually think this might be a good place to stop the session for the week. We could say that you all go back toward the orphanage, get a good night's rest, and we can start.
Actually,
Uh-huh.
Ross is gonna ask Murray,
Oh, absolutely.
have you been to, your temple recently?
Of course. Why?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
As she says, of course. Why?
Would you, would you go with me?
Go with you where, child?
To the temple. So, I have some questions. Maybe right now, right here, is not.
She nods slowly. Very well. I will accompany you wherever you please.
So, gonna head towards Muri's temple, which is
Mary will instruct everybody else to meet them back at the warehouse, I guess.
Gotcha. Sorry, let me change this. This is a bit too creepy, I think, for the moment. Corvosa. The
Maybe when
Temple
the
of
plague's
Sarenrae.
Saren Gay.
it totally for a minute blanked on who Muri's patron was.
Saren Gay.
yeah.
So Cressida will make her way out to meet with Cadence and Sebastian. The rest of you, with the exception of Muri and Ross, make your way back to the warehouse.
Correct?
Yeah.
All right. And Ross and Muri, you make your way to the Temple of Sarenrae.
I think Freya would go off and do something on her own, but I can talk to you about that later.
Sure, absolutely. We can cover that before next session. And if we need to cover anything during session, we'll do that at the start.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you have anything you wanted to do at the temple, or was this more of just a... You had questions, right?
Yeah, Ross has got like a ton of questions, and she's not even sure if she told Muri about William before they left, and fill her in on that.
Billy?
I mean, it is 12:42. Do we want
I
to
know.
do that?
Yeah, we can.
I
we can
don't
start.
know that we want to do that now.
We
I'm
can
just
start
saying,
next session. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll start
we
next
would
session
not
with
go
this.
directly to the temple. I mean, to the warehouse.
Sure. So we'll start next session with you guys taking a trip to the temple, and the rest of you resting up, and trying to find a way to get into Old Corvosa.
Again. Really, the first time the first time was the practice round, and now we can do like the quick draw round.
Well,
Don't
as-
you guys usually deal with problem places by just burning it down? Can't we just do that?
I wonder if
Yeah.
Ross is both.
No, because Muri's house is there, and she paid 10 grand for that house.
I
Yep.
mean, if you burn
Technically,
down
Technically,
all of
Amelia's
Corvosa,
sister paid 10 grand for that.
Amelia's sister gave it to Muri. Thank you.
where's your gift tax?
That's only if it's over like 600 grand.
Well,
Is Ross's little boat still there?
I guess you'll have to find out. And is the cow there? I don't know. As most
if
of
he's
you
been
know,
eaten, I'm gonna be upset.
if most of
Bessie
you
better
know,
be there.
and Robin would certainly know, getting into Old Corvosa is much easier than getting out of Old Corvosa. It's a quarantine. They care far less about who goes in. They care much more about who comes out.
I mean, we could always try and pull the same thing we did last time. Anyone got an earth elemental?
Get the elementals ready.
Right.
We might be able to go buy some.
I mean,
If
you
you guys
wanted
buy me
to.
another potion, we can just throw Rhea at it.
We have
Alright.
a few things, so.
Well, we will pick this up next week. And everyone, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.